The Gherkin Wraith series is a Gen 3 Honeycomb paddle in 2025. And that's the part that doesn't make any sense. We're in the foam core era right now. Bread and Butter, Rhombus, Vatic Pro, Carbon, and so many other brands have all released foam paddles that beat Honeycomb on almost every metric. Bigger sweet spots, more power, better durability. The numbers back it up. So why would Gherkin launch a Honeycomb paddle in 2025? And after testing all three shapes, the elongated, hybrid, and standard, for weeks, why do I actually understand what they're doing? Full disclosure here, Gherkin sent me these paddles to play and test with no strings attached. No money changed hands, and I'm not obligated to create content for them, and these are my honest impressions from a lot of time with each shape. The retail price is $135, but you can get them for around $121 with code MPB, which earns me a small kickback to continue creating content just like this. Here's what I figured out. The Wraith isn't trying to beat foam paddles at power. It's betting that some players still want the direct, connected feel of Honeycomb and giving them a modern version that doesn't fall apart at an affordable price. So whether you're one of those players is what we're going to figure out today. And to do that, let's walk through what Gherkin actually built here, because there's more going on than just another Honeycomb Gen 3 paddle. They call the Wraith a modified Gen 3. It's not your standard Honeycomb build, but it's not a full floating core design either. It's in between, more of a semi-floating hybrid. Inside the paddle, you've got a 16mm polypropylene honeycomb core with 10mm cells. Around that core sit 4 EVA foam strips, top, bottom, left side, right side. The corners are intentionally left open. Instead of a continuous foam ring that completely separates the core from the face, you get this semi-ring setup, partial energy isolation without going full floating core. The face uses CFC layering, carbon fiber and fiberglass composite in a sandwich. So carbon fiber, fiberglass, and carbon fiber. This gives you a slightly firmer rebound than carbon fiber only faces. According to Gherkin, they're going for the responsive connected hit of a traditional Gen 3 with better consistency and less trampoline effect than full foam cores. The open corners keep dwell time manageable and avoid that dead, compressed feeling you sometimes get with heavier foam frames. Traditional Gen 3 honeycombs give you that connected tactile response, but they can feel harsh. Full foam core paddles give you cushion and power, but they can feel muted and dense. You lose some of that direct connection to the ball. The question is whether the Wraith actually finds the middle ground. All three Wraith shapes are light, just under 8 ounces across the board. The elongated is the lightest at 7.89 ounces, the standard sits at 7.98 ounces, and the hybrid comes in at 8.04 ounces. Swing weight is where you can see how quick these actually are. The standard measures 106.75, which is extremely light. The hybrid's at 111.25, and the elongated hits 114.55. Most power paddles fall between 115 and 122 swing weight, so these are feather light by comparison. The twist weight is where the limitations start to show up. The elongated sits at 6.1, the hybrid at 6.2, and the standard at 6.5. Those are lower numbers, sure, and they translate directly to less stability on off-center hits. The standard's slightly higher twist weight makes it the most stable of the three. Power testing puts serve speeds around 60.5 to 60.8 miles per hour across the shapes. That's 81st to 89th percentile territory. Punch volley speeds are actually impressive. The standard hits 39.6 miles per hour at the 97th percentile, the hybrid hits 39.2 miles per hour at the 90th percentile, and the elongated comes in at 39.1 miles per hour at the 87th percentile. Spin numbers cluster around 2,143 to 2,197 RPM. In terms of firepower scores, these range from 85 to 89 across the line, with the standard hitting 89. These are competing with foam paddles on output, and Gen 3s pushing this much power are becoming rarer in 2025. Balance points vary by shape as expected. The elongated at 24.5 centimeters is the most head-heavy, which tries to compensate for the light swing weight but can feel harder to manage in quick exchanges. The hybrid balances at 23.8 centimeters and the standard at 23.5, both closer to neutral. Dimensionally, the elongated stretches to 16.5 inches by 7.4 inches wide. The hybrid comes in at 16.25 by 7.625 inches. The standard measures 16 by 7.875 inches, the widest of the bunch. Handle specs are identical across the line. 5.5-inch length with 4.25-inch circumference, giving you plenty of room for two-handed play. The first thing you notice across the line is the feel. It's firm and on the stiffer side. You feel the ball compress into the face with quick, direct feedback. The 10mm cells and that semi-floating foam setup create this distinct impact sensation. Similar to the 11624 Alpha Pro Power Series, the face softens slightly with use, but it keeps that firmer character. What stood out right away was the pop on quick exchanges. Hand battles at the kitchen line, the Wraith is crisp. The CFC face and the 10mm cells in the core create this fast rebound that makes timing really predictable after you get used to it. I want to underscore the word after. You're not getting explosive power, but the ball comes off clean and you can direct it where you want. After a few sessions, a pattern emerges on serves and drives. The power is there, but it's linear. You've got to swing through to activate it. There's no trampoline effect like launch you get from some other cores that give you free power just from how they rebound. The Wraith makes you generate your own pace. It's controllable, yes, but it's also quite poppy, which some players will love and others will find limiting. Spin generation landed around mid-pack for me. Not exceptional, not bad, just good, and good is good. Here's where things got interesting though. Stability and sweet spot size, that twist weight of around 6 to 6.5 shows up when you're playing. When you miss center, especially towards the edges, you feel the face torque. It's not terrible, nowhere near unusable, but it's noticeable. The arrow curve head design keeps swing weight low, which is great for speed, but it also narrows the shoulders, less horizontal space for error. But here's the thing, that need for precision isn't necessarily a problem. It depends on what you're looking for though. If you can make consistent contact and you like the firmer, more connected feel, the Wraith's design makes sense. You get that fast swing and direct feedback in exchange for needing cleaner hits. That's a trade-off, not a flaw. So I think the strengths are clear. Direct, connected feedback with a firm response. Excellent maneuverability and quick hand speed across all shapes. The limitations are equally clear. You're generating your own pace rather than getting free power. Smaller sweet spot and less stability on off-center hits, not plush or cushioned. In stock form, these paddles favor quickness over stability. For most players, adding weight improves stability and expands the sweet spot without killing the speed. The basic specs, static and swing weights in that low, faster range, support weight additions well without making the paddle slow or heavy. I did test multiple weight configurations across all three shapes. The standard's actually fine without modifications. It's the most balanced of the three and plays well right out of the wrapper. But I did add 3 grams on each side to increase the size of the sweet spot and see what would happen, and the paddle sounded fuller at contact and played more planted on off-center hits. Swing weight went up minimally, of course, still easy to accelerate though. The hybrid benefited from a smaller perimeter bump. Those narrower shoulders and the 6.2 twist weight meant off-center shots were the most inconsistent here. Adding 3 to 4 grams at the 8 and 4 o'clock positions made a noticeable difference. The sweet spot still isn't huge, but it's still very usable. This shape's fast, but it's also a little unforgiving, so a little weight helps. I think the elongated is different. This one needs work. Stock, it's underbalanced with that 6.1 twist weight. The reach is nice, but the instability undermines it. I added 4 grams around 8 and 4 o'clock, bringing swing weight up to around 116 to 118 and the paddle locked in. Control improved, presence at the net improved, and I could actually use that extra length. Don't buy the elongated unless you're comfortable adding weight. I think it's not optional with this shape. The break-in period is short. The CFC face settles in after 4 to 6 hours of play and the pitch mellows slightly. Nothing dramatic, just typical settling in you see with composite faces. Gherkin offers 3 distinct head shapes in the Wraith line, and choosing between them comes down to your playing style and what you're willing to tinker with. The standard's my pick. It's the most balanced of the 3. The broader face improves touch play and gives you more room for error. It's light, crisp, fast, but not hollow. The wider face means you've got more horizontal space than the other 2 shapes, which matters when you're stretching for balls or adjusting to pace. If you're unsure which shape to get, start here. The hybrid sits in the middle of the lineup. That steep arrow curve and narrowed shoulders create a smaller sweet spot. Off-center hits twist more than other shapes. The width is noticeably narrower and you feel it when you're reaching for wide shots. This is for players with very consistent contact who want a balanced profile without needing the extra length. If you're still working on where you strike the ball, go standard and skip this shape. The elongated offers the most reach, but it's the least stable stock and needs the most work. The extra length gives you advantages, and on defense you can cover more court and reach balls you'd miss with shorter paddles. But you're paying for it with the lowest twist weight in the lineup. The paddle plays more on the unstable side on anything but center hits until you add weight. Once weighted, it's much better. Better stability, control, and the face is more planted, and you can actually use that reach. This shape's for players comfortable with customization who specifically value the extra length. Start with the standard for most players. The hybrid's a solid middle option if the standard feels too wide or you want something between the standard and elongated. And consider the elongated only if you're willing to add weight and need the extra reach. At $121 after code MPB, the Wraith undercuts most competitors and lands well below current foam paddles. The Wraith trades sweet spot size and effortless power for direct tactile feedback. When I switch from the Wraith to foam paddles, the difference in how the ball comes off the face is stark. In 2025, foam is giving you more power and a bigger sweet spot, yes, but the Wraith gives you more immediate connection to what the ball's doing. The 6-month warranty is also worth noting, and that's double what Gherkin used to offer. So budget-conscious players who want current technology without excessive pricing will appreciate the value here. At $121 with code MPB, you're getting semi-floating core design and clean construction for significantly less than other premium options. So that's it. That's the Gherkin Wraith series review. These paddles deliver modern honeycomb feel at a time when foam's basically taken over the sport. They're competing on power metrics, and those firepower scores prove it, but I think they're primarily competing on connection and feedback. So would you buy a honeycomb paddle in 2025, or have you fully committed to foam? Let me know below, because I'm very curious where players are landing on this question. Remember, you can grab any Wraith shape for around $121 with code MPB at Gherkin's website. Link is in the description. If this review helped, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.